I think we all have had an experience where we tasted something for the first time and we couldn't stand it. And yet later on in life, tried it again just to have a completely opposite opinion. And today, I want to talk about something in that format. Because we've all seen my favorite drink in my videos over the last 4 years. And I want to share my experience on how I became a fan of said drink. So, let's talk about Red Bull. Red Bull is a company that's been around since I think the mid 90s or so. And it's always been the go-to energy drink for most sports competitors at this point. Now, esports, um, and they even have their own category of Red Bull Sports, which is on their Red Bull app, which I have on my phone and I watch rather frequently. It also comes in itself a variety of flavors, both sugar-free, and coming in regular watermelon, apple, peach, pear, coconut, what they call Juneberry, and a strawberry tasting like flavor that they came out this year. I told you had a problem! I don't pay you to talk smack to me.
You don't pay me at all, but you're stuck with me.
Stuck with you? So you're what, like Alan Harper?
Ooh, that hurts. I guess that means you're not going to be wanting these. Well, at least I still have the hand. I didn't want to regrow that again. Have fun with your video.
Thank you. Okay, back to my story. When it comes to my fandom of Red Bull, my first experience with it was, I think I was just out of high school in 2007, and I'd had it for the first time, and my first opinion of it was tasted like bull piss. Which at first I kind of came to the conclusion that kind of made sense. Now, don't get me wrong, that was my opinion then. Fast forward to 2016, and I land myself a job at Dollar General out in Missouri. Well, halfway through my tenure there, my my schedule was always early morning from opening until about midday, and I was getting to the point where I was struggling to stay awake in the mornings, but I needed something to keep me up. And back then, I was a huge drinker of Mountain Dew Kickstarts, but only for the flavor. I've never drank an energy drink because it gave me energy. But Kickstarts weren't doing it because I enjoyed the flavor too much, so they weren't going to do what I needed them to do. I needed something to kick me in the ass. So since we had an entire aisle of Red Bull displays, I decided that, you know what? If I'm going to wake up, let's choose something that I dislike and force myself to drink it, and then that will wake me up. Which that strategy started just fine. Every morning, I'd pick up a 12-ounce Red Bull, try a new flavor every day, landing on the original being my favorite, eventually anyway. And every morning, I would grab one, just down it, continue with my day. Always because I never liked it. Even had the conversation with my coworkers and my boss. Like, why do you drink it if you don't like it? It was like, I need something to wake me up, and if I enjoy my drink, that's going to relax me, not disturb me, and I need to be disturbed, not relaxed. Until one day, I was getting off my shift at work, and I was super thirsty. And normally, my go-to drink was, in fact, Kickstarts. It was the mango lime that I settled on my primary go-to. It got to the point where our delivery drivers with for Kickstarts and the Mountain Dews and or the Pepsi products in general would bring an extra case of Kickstarts for me to buy specifically on its own. But it got to or I got to a point where that one day I got off work and I was thirsty, but instead of immediately thinking of Kickstart, instead of immediately thinking of a chocolate milk or a Dr. Pepper or a Pepsi or hell, even a Powerade, my first thought was this. And it triggered in my head, oh crap. I drank it so much that I developed a taste for it, and now I enjoy it. So my plan kind of backfired because I went from drinking something because it was nasty to now drinking it because it is now my favorite thing to drink. I love the flavor to it now. It's like now it's tied with Pepsi for being my favorite drink, and well, as we all saw in my video yesterday, well, Pepsi's kind of my thing, and it's kind of funny that I don't like the color blue. And my primary favorite color is red, and yet my two favorite drinks are primarily blue with a small hint of red. That's neither here nor there, but still. But, uh, fast forward a little bit forward, or further forward, I think it's 2020. Desi and I are hanging out at Target, and we come across the Red Bull delivery driver stocking up the coolers. And I went to go talk to him, saying, hi, I'm going to buy myself a Red Bull. Mind if I get one off of you? Hands me one. And I was like, I don't mean to disturb you, but I'm like a really big fan of Red Bull, but I can't seem to find the distribution center for Oklahoma City because I kind of want to go in. I would like to, ask questions, maybe tinker around, see if I can get like a tour or something. He's like, well, I don't know if they'll be willing to give you a tour or anything, but it should be. Gave me directions and a little uh vocal vocal guidance. I still have not found it 4 years later. Not the point. Point is he gave me the information for that. So it was kind of cool that I liked it so much. Maybe I should apply to work for the company itself. And I'm like, maybe. Blah, blah, blah. I had a job at the time, so wasn't too worried about that. Anyway, conversation wrapped up. Desi and I went about our business, and then on our way out of Target, we run into the Red Bull driver again. And he said, hey, I'm glad I found you because you said that you were a big fan of Red Bull, so I thought I thought I'd get you something. So he went out to his truck, apparently, after he had finished stocking, and he had brought in a Red Bull cooler shelf, which I have hanging right there. He handed that to me, and I was like, yo, my first piece of Red Bull memorabilia. Ran into him again 2 years later, just before he transferred to another location out of state because he was getting married and he was moving location. So I thought that was cool. And the funny thing is that I didn't recognize him at the time, so I told him the story about what happened. He was like, "Yeah, I remember because that was me." It was cool. And then he pulled out a 4 pack of blueberry Red Bulls, like the 8 ounces, like that small 4 pack of 8 ounces, and handed that to me because, well, big fan of Red Bull here. It was cool. Showed up to work with that thing in my out of my backpack. I was like, boom. And I was like, I love being a fan of Red Bull. They're like, why did you buy that? And I'm like, I didn't buy it. It was given. Yes. And then, what was it? 2 years ago, in 2022, the Red Bull Rapids event, the first time it was held in the United States was here in my home state of Oklahoma. And during the build-up, all these gas stations had these little post thingies that they put on their concrete posts, like out by their gas pumps and all that jazz. They were all the same everywhere I went. And on my way into work one day, I asked what they were going to do with their things once they were over, and they were like, or I'm sorry, they said that since the event was happening and it wasn't going to be again, since it's for the first time in America, so there's not going to be a use for a first time poster or banner or anything like that again. They said that I could go ahead and just take one that they currently had because it was like 2 weeks before the event. So I was like, fuck yes, sweet, thank you. And I slid one off next to or from one of the stands next to their gas pump. And I have it sitting right here, which I will post right here. It actually has my unicorns and my gold power staff on it right now. Because I don't have anywhere to put my gold power staff. I don't have anywhere to hang it. Not the point. This is a Red Bull video. Uh, and then, let's see, in my entire tenure uh, of Planet Fitness employment, the 4 years I was there, I was I had a Red Bull in my hand virtually every day, and I worked 5 to 6 days a week. And then the entire time I was there, I spent almost $100 on Red Bull a week because I'd spend almost 10 to 20 bucks on it a day because I'd get two of them from Target, which right there was like $11, and then I'd pick up either one more during my shift, which is another $6 roughly, because different locations, different prices. And so there's 15. 15 times 6. Yeah, it's close to it. And it was consistent, again, for that entire 4 year period. And let's not forget that I still have more than 800 videos out of my 1100 videos on my channel, each with a different Red Bull on them, and none of them are from the work days that I would get on or that I would have from before I would get home to work on my content. So, yeah, I guess you could say I have a problem. As my colleague uh, oh so graciously showed and then decided to enable. Um, but yeah, I mean, there's nothing really special or about my connection with Red Bull. I just really enjoy it, and my journey to get to the point of enjoying it was just kind of amusing to me, and I just wanted to share it. So, thank you for tuning in and letting me share my favorite drink with you guys. But that's about it. So, I'll see you guys in the next video. Remember to like, share, subscribe, ring the bell. Everything this normally would tell you to do, but it's kind of flat right now. Anyway, like, subscribe, and bell, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bad News Harris, out.